Hey everybody, this is Ori from AstroWeb, and I want to talk to you about a concept today that brought up, and I think some people are don't understand this, or it's not that clear. And the topic is about the concept of website conversions, right? So every business that has a website, either an e-commerce store, a shop, or just a service company or an informational site, that website, if you're a business, you typically have some kind of business goals, right? So e-commerce site, the goal would be getting a sale or getting people to register or people to share. Informational site or a service company might be getting the lead, for example, filling out the form or making a phone call. Content site like YouTube would be people viewing, viewing at least a few videos or a certain amount of time. And every business and every website has certain goals. So those goals, those business goals, right? Aside, put aside technical and online and everything. Every business has a certain goal. So these goals, I see them as basically just conversions, right? So if you want to track your goals, you use a different tools, but in this video, we're going to talk about Google Analytics. So Google Analytics tracks your website users, your customers, your pages, technical things, technology things, and conversions. So I want to talk today about what are conversions and how you set them up and that concept. So I'm not going to get into too much about how you set it up, but I want to talk about it so it's clear, and I hope this is clear for more people. Uh, so conversion. So most reports you go in Google Analytics, and you can reference our beginners tutorials if this is new for you. Um, Most of the reports have a section. So, for example, if I want to see the mobile visitors or the new visitors or my traffic sources or my pages, you're always going to have all your metrics here, like users and sessions and bounce rates. Most of the reports also have a box here called conversions. And so when you configure Google Analytics, you add the code to all your pages. You also need to configure what type of conversions or what type of business goals are fitting for you, right? So for example, here I have e-commerce, an actual order goal, conversion, and I also have certain goals, for example, filling out a form, right? So this is an example. So, what do you need to do? Number one, you need to figure out what are your business goals. Is an order enough? Is a repeat order enough? Is someone filling out a form? Is someone asking a question in customer service? So, first of all, you define it. Nothing technical. You just, as a business, you define what are your goals. Okay. Once you do that, you actually go to the settings tab right here and you actually tell Google Analytics, these are my business goals. So, how do you do it? You go to your account, you go to your view, and you go to two things. So number one, if you have an e-commerce goal, so for example, you're getting orders, you have a shop, you click on e-commerce settings and you turn it on, right? If you want enhanced e-commerce, you turn it on. If you want really advanced things, you add the funnel, but that's a different topic right now. So you have e-commerce goals, you turn it on, something like that, and you save it. Then your actual e-commerce shop platform, Magento, Shopify, WooCommerce, or anything custom on the checkout page, excuse me, on the success page after someone paid for an order, you actually trigger some code to send the data to Google Analytics. So, for example, the amount someone paid, which products they ordered, the quantities, the shipping amounts, the promotions, etc. So, this is the first thing you need to do, right? You set up e-commerce, then you have your platform do it. Good thing is that most platforms that are popular, Magento, Shopify, etc., they already have the code that on the success page it'll send it. So what you have to do first of all is turn it on, because if Magento sends uh, the code, the information to your Google Analytics, but it's not turned on, you're not going to get that data. That's the first thing. Really common. You have e-commerce, you for sure want that. The second thing are what we call goals. Okay, so goals are defined here. So what you're going to do is you're going to create your own goals. This you have to input yourself. You have to specify specific. So what are goals? There's two ways to set them up. Um, One is you can use templates. So there's easy ways. For example, if someone created an account, if someone contacted us, so you can use these templates to speed up the creation. But I always use the custom because I know how to like go and create it easily. But let's look at an example or two. So let's say, for example, someone contacted us, right? I'm going to click on continue, and now you define it. So the name is contact us, right? That's the goal. If someone created it, I'll get like an actual goal for this label. And then what I go here is I specify how do I know that the business goal was actually achieved, right? So you have four different things you can use, four different types. Either someone visited a certain page, for example, the thank you page after they fill out the form, or I had a certain article that I really wanted them to read. So I'll go ahead and put the URL of that page. If they get there, if a customer gets there, my goal is triggered. I know someone achieved that goal. Or the duration, right? How long did someone spend on the website? If they spend more than 10 minutes reading my articles, I consider that as a business goal. Or they viewed a certain amount of pages, right? For example, they've visited at least 20 pages during their session, during their actual visit that time. And the last one is an event, right? So an event basically means that, um, you know, a, a certain a certain goal, for example, playing of a video or sharing something on Facebook or something like that on your website, you have to trigger it. So you need your developer to upon certain goals to trigger some extra line of code that will send an event. And then when that event is met and Google Analytics hears about it, it'll set up a goal. Okay. So destination, for example, I just put the URL, right? I put the URL there or a match of a URL. Um, and let's go back here. The duration, as you mentioned before, is a certain time. They at least visited more than, for example, 6 minutes they've been on the site. Or page views, right? So they've at least visited 9 pages, okay? And the last one would be an event, right? So you have to use code and then you actually match that code. If that code triggers certain category, certain action, a certain label, a certain value, you trigger it. Now, there's more things for goals, and I've already made videos for this, but I just want to explain the concept of this. So once you set up these kind of things, you can go to any report. Just for example, you go to this report, and you can see the goals, right? So for example, I have a goal for my forms, and you can see the forms itself have been triggered, and they're right here. The amount of completions, the actual value if you set a monetary value, which we didn't, and the goal percentage, how many people visit versus how many people actually work, do this business goal. So hope this made sense. If you have any questions about concepts or more explanations, I'm happy to answer. Write in the comments. Really appreciate your time. Thanks.